here and try to, again, like you mentioned, try to flex out of my game away from what has so far been their comfort zone. But, you know, okay, they say, sure, you can take us here and we'll just pull out the Ashe, who has been super effective on this first point.
Wayfast has actually been a nuts hit scan throughout this throughout this Contenders Trials run. Like, it's easy to say that Wayfast is a great Zarya because he really is. He builds gravity. He's one of, I think, the 3 best Zaryas in Trials right now, which is impressive. But he continues to perform, but he can do just as well on hit scan. And we've seen his Ashe before. It's been pretty nasty. So I expect Out of My Game to have some good things here. Orgless and Hungry, they're going to scout with a Sombra. They're going to see what they see. They see they don't like what they see. And so they switch up to a composition. Yeah, Lucio, no mercy. Back to your heroes you go, and it's good old Zen goats here from Orgless and Hungry.
Hashtag default is what you would call that, I would say, and I'm just interested to see how Wayfast is able to play here. Can he get this tuned up and ready to go? A nice little split to start, which would actually force Orgless back. Dynamite not quite where you want that to hit, right off the crossbar, and now it just comes back to how does Orgless approach this? You see they wanted to go right-hand side underneath this pagoda prospectively. Will they try to do it again? But the coach gun from Wayfast will actually a very nice displacement getting out of the face of that Diva. But Orgless and Hungry, meanwhile, will just focus down Frogy and Olu. So an opportunity here, 6-on-4. All of the front line, at least the big part of the front line, has been taken down. So all of a sudden, capture on A is very possible.
And yeah, they're going to get it. Unless Tool sub, yeah, no, that doesn't happen very often. Wayfast, not even gonna get 1 kill for himself. Unlucky, no Bob available. You really do hate to see it. Not if you're Orgless and Hungry though. They take points.
Not if you're Orgless. You hit that one on the head, LaFon. That's exactly what you want to see for Orgless and Hungry. But it will be Out of My Game again. You mentioned it. Wayfast not quite able to get that ultimate. He'll switch over to Mei.
May's so good on the second point. Look at all those chokes you got to go through, and May's wall is perfectly sized to keep you out of them. So, you know, if you can wall them off as they try and rotate in, you can do a lot of damage for the people that are stuck behind. And Orgless and Hungry now, they have to choose. They have to choose where to go, and they have to be clinical in their execution. No joking around here.
Oh, the wall. It would have been great, but it's just a little bit mistimed, and all 6 players do get through. That's a huge cooldown to not have for Wayfast. Now it comes down to the front line, and Out of My Game not quite able to get onto the point as they're able to get completely taken down after that misplay from the wall. Just too many weaknesses as Orgless dove right on in. That's 1 tick of progress. It will surely be the second. Will we see a full third? It's going to be close. Oh, what a great grab. Just to lock everybody in place. A very good offense for Orgless. Welcome to the Contenders Trials. My goodness.
That's the kind of play that you need. We needed for them on control shift, but it's good to see it now at least, right? And considering what Out of My Game has to play through, right? We said Out of My Game, you want to maximize your chances here. You need to get the 4-0. So Orgless and Hungry, you know, it's 5:47 the clock. It's pretty respectable. And it comes down to the fact that you open up with the Ashe. The Ashe gets, okay, I'm going to say it again. I'm sorry. 0 value. And then switches to Mei. The trend continues. It's just very awkward. Out of My Game, don't get ultimates at all that fight. That's not true.
Yeah.
Cost did get the Transcendence, but it's a little too late. And Orgless and Hungry had their big 6. They just used them off cooldown. Nothing you can do. And yeah, turns out that Q button very, very powerful in Overwatch.
You know, I got to give you props, LaFon, for actually finding, like, real-time analysis of what was by far, like, Hanamura done quick. Like, that was probably, what, 1.5 minutes total spent on that offense? So, yeah, I see you doing the math over there. You're looking like Zach Galifianakis, you know, in The Hangover, just doing all the math mentally. But Out of My Game, again, this is, you know, obviously a really good push for Orgless, but I think this is going to be a good testing point. How good is this Out of My Game squad? Can they at least do some of the damage that, you know, you don't expect them to get 547 in matching time, but this is kind of a hill for them to climb. See how much resiliency they have.
Yeah. On the math topic, I actually go to school for that particular, well, close to it. My degree's in computer science, so I should be good at math. Yeah.
I just saw the wheels turning, and I had to give you props
Listen,
for it.
Basic edition. It's tough.
Basic edition on cast, dude. You will never catch me any day of the week doing basic edition on math. No, or on stream. No way.
Out of My Game, they see what they've got. It's Wayfast gonna take the Sombra. He's tired of. Okay, no, he's not. Gonna play some Zarya there. So, hey, Z-Goats versus Z-Goats, or that's the shorthand we use for Zen Goats, or at least I do. And good old-fashioned time. They're gonna be playing that gate, gonna play very aggressively at each other. And now it's gonna come down to who's gonna poke in first.
Speed boost where you can see Twolz is searching for a target, though, essentially pirouetting through the middle portion of that little Zen garden right in front. Koss will find the first elimination on a Berglund, though, so now all of a sudden, Orgless and Hungry, can you sustain this? Oh, they've lost the Reinhardt as well, but Krogi has also dropped, but you're still dealing with a 5-on-4, and Wayfast is full charge, which is things you don't want to see without a shield. If you're Orgless and Hungry, Discord Orb on the back will essentially make that melt away very quickly, and out of my game, almost just as quickly as Orgless found their first point, they will find one of their own.
So, out of my game, going to take it. I think the one thing that is actually pretty impressive here is that out of my game, though they won that clinically, are actually walking to this next fight with not that many impact ultimates aggressively, right? They do have the Brigitte ultimate, and they're going to be having the Zen ultimate very shortly, that Transcendence. But Orgless and Hungry, they have the Earthshatter. They can make this work for themselves. Henningsen, oh, that's a creative spot to stand.
See how long
nice
that lasts.
Boop.
Brilliant boop. It actually completely displaces. Henningsen wanted to find the Earthshatter, but didn't really find anything on the stuns. Leo Deads, again, this May has been so good, and they will find a freeze and a Progi, but the Transcendence is already there for Koss. So now, how long will this fight last? As we do still have essentially an abbreviated fight as the ultimates are all being traded back and forth. Olu will also be stunned. He'll catch an icicle to the face, and a boop away will actually find Progi's elimination, so out of my game won't be forced to reset.
That bot Orgless, that Earthshatter, having that Earthshatter online, coupled with a boop, coupled with the Shatter on Wayfast alone, meant two things. One, Orgless and Hungry's ult economy is now back in step with Out of My Game, and two, Wayfast does not have Graviton Surge, Berglund does. Out of My Game does have tools to work with here, and the Transcendence was committed from Ruby, but now you actually have a win condition established. May Ultimate plus Graviton Surge, the Blizzard Grav combo, so powerful, and no support ultimates yet for Out of My Game.
A little bit early on the trigger was Leo Deads wanting to catch out just the Reinhardt. You can see where that Ice Wall was previously positioned, but the long rotation back through the middle and a nice little boop away. The Graviton Surge will actually be forced away as the Diva was booped. There was no chance of defense. Blizzard well played, and Henningsen will find himself 3 plus a DMAC. Things you love to see for Orgless, a very good second defense.
Problematic there is Henningsen does not build the Earthshatter in that grab. It's not going to really be a punishment, I think, is they're going to get it here. It likely will passively build enough that they'll have a swing or a fire strike to away, but you'd like to see him at least have it for this next fight. Out of my game, they're okay losing that fight, though. Oh, Koss is getting a massive stagger.
And at that point, Out of my game is just like waiting in spawn, like, whenever you want to die, Koss, come on back to us. We'll wait for you. Short bus is leaving the station soon, don't worry.
Out of my game's okay with it, though. I mean, Orgless and Hungry don't have ultimates as many ultimates compared to Out of my game. Out of my game knows that. But their time bank is slowly ticking away, and Orgless and Hungry have advantage there. Keep that in mind as this goes on. The Lucio playing that high ground, looking for that boop, is going to find again. The wall is there in time, though.
Able to find out the front line completely. Progi gets mini stun as well as Discord is the sustain here. Graviton Surge will suck in all of Out of my game. The self-destruct is good though for OMG. And now Progi can counter with the Earthshatter of his own. It doesn't find as much as he would like, but regardless, you're dealing with an abbreviated Orgless and Hungry defense, and all of a sudden progress can start to be made. A nice little tactical retreat though from the Lucio. Get out of there. Wait for the rest of your frontliners to get back. Henningsen will charge in. He's got sustain behind him, but he gets stunned mid Earthshatter, and that will surely be the end of this defense for Orgless and Hungry. Goodness, and as they find their second tick here, it'll likely be the third as there's no respawns available. We're going into a second round drawn up 2-2.
Time bank being what it is, Out of my game is technically a disadvantage, but that last fight, there was like some, you know, you could put the Benny Hill music there on it, because there's some like interesting, so the boop, so the charge comes in, right? That's how you want to take down the Rhine shield usually to prevent, so the bigger bang can complete, right? The self-destruct. Unfortunately though, a well-timed boop from Tang actually knocks him way out of orbit. Yeah. He like charges into the middle of nowhere. And then right back behind it, it's everyone's favorite Swedish hero, Brigitte. Who I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but she has this ability called Shield Bash.
No.
It's on an 8-second cooldown, and it stuns someone for a fraction of a second. And they, you know, Olu applied that stun to Orgless and Hungry's main tank, Henningsen, knocking the shield down, and
stopping the Earthshatter too.
He met it a couple of times. I don't think he's a big fan of that particular ability. But just hold your shield up. You can't stun through shield or something.
Omega lol. That's insane commentary from you, Lafon. I love it.
Thank you. Out of my game. Out of my game. Wayfast is likely going to use the Sombra to scout and then probably see what's happening. Might switch back. We'll see.
Thinking about it. We'll see. They're still sticking on Progi when the Winston currently.
Nope.
Okay,
He scout. Yeah, they scout out with the
instantly.
Sombra, and they go back. They see Orgless and Hungry what they're running. They switch to the Goats comp. They see exactly what they're willing to win. Hey, and they're okay with this. Their Goats comp has, until this point, been the better of the two teams.
Absolutely.
So you're okay.
Yeah.
You're okay taking this mirror every day of the week.
Yeah. And now it just comes down to, can they find that early? Oh my goodness, the pressure. You can see the boops away. Orgless and Hungry gets completely separated, almost baited into those double doors, and eliminations, well, they come quick and they come often for OMG, as they're able to find the entire front line and the support line as well. Another very quick capture on A for the 3rd time in a row. And potential to snowball here as you take a look. Costa almost has a Transcendence, and Progi very close to having an Earth Shatter.
Yeah, Orgless and Hungry are going to switch things up. Actually, Orgless and Hungry are matching tempo in terms of ultimate. Costa is going to be the first one to an ult, likely with the Zen. Those right clicks have been massive, and spectating him is always fun because you can see him like correct mid-fire and just hit shot after shot. It's insane. It's really, really nice. But Orgless and Hungry, yeah, they're going to try and poke this one away, as is OMG. They're going to try and find that first fight win. And yeah, reset.
Good wall.
Good
able
wall.
to separate out a couple of supports from the backline, including the Brigida, who's just, he's waiting. Oh my goodness, the patience for Leodeds to just wait on top of that wall, make sure nobody gets involved, and Progi Twills will all be taken down. Wayfast near full charge will be pretty annoying, but he's by himself and will surely fall here in a moment. But regardless, again, essentially at that point, that just turned into free ultimate charge for both teams.
We talk about ultimates, but there's one thing, there's a couple of abilities in this game that by themselves just win fights. And one of those is Maze Wall on the proper map. And we got to see there why. Leodeds gets a perfect wall. They lock up the Zen, who had his Transcendence, and the Brigitte. You don't have that frontline pressure. And out of my game, you're down 2 at that point, and they just lose the fight. Well played by Orgless and Hungry, especially Leodeds there.
Every door has to feel like a complete trap right now for Out of My Game with how Leodeds has been putting these walls down. Progi does have an Earth Shatter. He does get mini shield bash. You talked about that insane ability just previously. Now as mini costs the Transcendence. Progi will drop down the Earth Shatter and he'll find one, but countered by Henningsen. How beautiful was that? The entire front line will fall for Out of My Game, and Orgless and Hungry, who have looked good on the second defense mostly, will once again dissect the offense of Out of My Game.
Orgless and Hungry somehow, okay, Out of My Game actually reads that as a fight they can win. I think Progi tries to Earth Shatter and to just bring it back, but a bad read, in all honesty. That's something that Progi hasn't had a whole lot of to this point, but that one was. You don't have your team, don't shatter there. Orgless and Hungry are binding themselves back time. Slowly but surely, they're eking time off the clock, 1:25 remaining, and they have those impact ultimates we're talking about.
Another nice wall separating out that time. Progi and Wayfast both will drop, and now it's a hammer in close quarters. And you do not want to meet that iron on your face, as Ribby will actually be able to clean up one more, and it just looks like this point we're down to right about a minute and change. Out of My Game need to find desperately a way to break through this May.
They have to bank ultimates here now, try and force their way through, but they kind of put themselves in a bind by using that Earth Shatter early. They're not close to it. It's a whole fight gone. Progi has not played the game in about 2 pushes, and so now you're trusting Wayfast to get a grab combo with tools that is going to win the fight out. Against, the same can be said for Orgless and Hungry. They've got tools to work with here.
They did catch Leodeds a little unawares, though, and the Graviton Surge will lock on a few, but the Ice Wall will keep all the damage away, at least mostly. Kagasi is the first one to fall in this elimination. Graviton Surge plus the Blizzard both will come off, and now a self-destruct as well. We'll be thrown a little bit too far, though, but regardless, Orgless and Hungry, they will clean up all of the front line and Earth Shatter just for good measure to take down the last couple of players, and now we're down to just about 15 seconds. It's going to be desperation switches from Out of My Game, and even still, they might not quite get here in time.
Yeah, it is very unlikely they finish this map out a second time, and with tools going down even later, the wall is going to be there, the Wrecking Ball committed. They don't have tools to work with here, and that will actually most likely be it. All but official here as Olu gets booped away, does touch for the slightest of moments.
Transcendence tried to sneak around. Will actually touch for a small second, so it's not done yet. We've seen crazier things, but obviously the odds stacked against them. If you're a betting man, you put all of your chips down on red, and that is how the roulette reel will turn up defensively. We will still see a 3-2, though. No progress on capture point B for OMG.
So now, Orgless and Hungry, where were you in the first 2 maps? Because this is not the same team from King's Row. It really isn't.
I mean, Is it just the Mei, though, LaFon? Because it kind of feels like that. I mean, there have been good moments from Orgless and Hungry's front line, as well as a couple of good support triggers that we had not seen previously. But it seems like Leo has mostly just carried this defense.
I think one of the strongest things that's happening is that the Mei is working to the map, right? And Out of My Game is now being punished for the first time. They haven't had to, until this time, play as a full 6. Here's the thing about Mei, is if you have to play as a core of 6, usually when you play GOATs, you've got a core of 3 and 3, right? You've got your front line, you've got your sort of backline-esque, and you can get away with playing a little bit more spread out. On a map like Hanamura 2nd, where you've got the Mei, you can't do that. There is no frontline, backline. It's a team of 6 played together, and Orgless Hungry, yeah, you're right. Mei is providing a breath of fresh air for them. Speaking of, I have to say, fresh air in the wintertime is both interesting. I have to bring it up. So for those unaware, yeah, I know. For those unaware, in the North American continent of Canada, or North American continent, Canada and USA, northern part of it, there's been a lot of snow these last 2 days, and I was actually snowed in quite heavily the last yesterday.
I thought you were gonna go somewhere with like freezing air.
No, I figured that was a little too on the nose. So I figured I'd switch it up a little bit. Leodeads, though, same can be said for them. They switch it up. They're not going goats. And it's gonna be the Pharah Merce. Oh wow, triple DPS. Okay, single tank. And this comp, I actually like this comp. And one of the reasons why is you provide a ton of crossfire here with the three DPS players.
And where is the response going to come from Out of My Game? They've got no hit scan to deal with Kagasi on the Pharah, and typically in EU Contenders Trials, we've also seen a Moira just because the Coalescence is a good counter as well, but there's none of that. So you have to find a way to eliminate the front line, I think, for OMG. Deny the sight lines, but goodness, how can you deny the sight lines when you've got missiles on one end and some old-fashioned coach gun bullets coming from the other? A headshot will come through for Berglund. Dynamite as well. A nice biotic grenade. We've seen this combination time and time again, and it looks like it's going to go pretty well for Orgless. They should capture this first point relatively easily.
So here's the thing about why Pharah was not actually used to counter GOATs in its heyday, and that's because Zen plus D.Va is actually a really, really good deterrent for that air pressure. So what do you bring into play? Well, you bring in a Sombra. She has that hack, and now all of a sudden you don't have boosters, and you don't have Matrix, and the Zen has to play scared. So, you know, there's just so much there. Just Sombra alone takes so much pressure, and then you've got Berglund and the Ashe providing a lot of downrange damage that Kagasi can, provide a crossfire with. So it's a really good combination against GOATs, especially on that first point.
Nice little headshot poke there as well for Berglund, who does have Bob, so we could be seeing a 7-on-6. As long as Bob does, in fact, do something, he'll come right down Main Street, put himself right on that banner, and start to fire away. The defense matrix will come through to try to stop some of that. Now the barrage, though, for free because there is no defense matrix. It will at least help take down one. Bob will find another, and now it just comes down to Orgless Hungry. They're going to finish this map if they keep this up, although they've used just about every single tool. The boost also coming in. They need to find these last eliminations. Wayfast is being so slippery on the Tracer. A great dynamite, though, and no recall available. The EMP also being pulled out. Berglund is essentially perched up for free, but there's no frontliners here, so Orgless and Hungry can't completely contest it.
Oh, that fight. Oh, okay, we're gonna watch Berglund slow. Yeah, there we go. Oh my god, that's sad.
You talk about the downsides, LaFon, of only playing one frontliner. If he's not up, you can't contest the point.
There's so much. Yeah, absolutely. Out of My Game, though, not only do they're gonna switch it wholesale here. Not only do they get the front line away, they actually lose properly. They stagger out their kills properly, and what that means is that they die 2 at a time, essentially buying enough time for their respawns to get in, and without that frontline pressure that you mentioned, you can't stand on point and delay the respawn that Assault maps have inherently built in. So, Out of My Game, an actually good read in how to approach that fight. Tool's gonna fail to knock everyone off the high ground, and now Berglund, high energy, gonna try and provide so much pressure on this front line.
What a brilliant little play there from Twolz. It might not look like much, but he comes from underneath and boosts right through all of Orgless, which completely separates them. And again, you talk about this team mostly being a conglomeration of open division players that were not automatically qualified into trials, and they looked a little bit lost there for a second, but able to reconcile themselves pretty nicely. Though Twolz will take down Henningsen without that shield being there. You have to figure the damage will hopefully be good enough, as Chalky Bell can take down Berglund. Yeah, for sure, Out of My Game. They should hold this one no problem. The rally is here. A fully charged Wayfast will also be able to shoot through just about everybody who is left, including the Remax D.Va. It just comes down to trying to stagger the pilot D.Va rather, as long as humanly possible.
Okay, 3 seconds. It's gonna have to be good enough. Orgless and Hungry reset. Berglund does have the Graviton Surge, but unfortunately, You know, this next fight is going to be what we call an explosion. Out of my game and Orgless Hungry both see the same thing, and that is the rally in that last fight. So now coming to this next one, we are going to see 5 versus 5 online, building up really quickly to those ultimates. Minus the rally, everything else will be available here in this last fight. And 2 minutes on the clock. This is second to last fight on this map.
Chalky Milk with another nice little boop to separate the team, putting everybody in the staircase. The Graviton Surge. Progi says, thank you, Way Fast, for putting everybody right in front of my hammer. He'll slap through too. And Orgless and Hungry will be denied once again. We are getting ever so close towards potential draw territory here.
We are. I think the one thing that Orgless and Hungry is a little bit disappointed is that Out of My Game actually held the trigger on so many more ultimates. They only used the Graviton Surge, but that is one fewer available to them here in this next fight, where Orgless and Hungry will have all of theirs. So, last fight wasn't explosive, but this one should be, because the win condition now is established. Prevent Out of My Game from respawning for 1 to... Oh, no, that's... Never mind.
What a play! What a little bit of a barrage of destruction orbs from Koss. Also met with a little bit of a particle AoE from Wayfast. Immediately turned aside saying, no rally here. Why don't you go rally back and spawn? That's exactly what will be happening. We will lose that rally charge from Kagasi.
That is devastating, actually, because now Out of My Game actually has the ability to draw this out pretty easily. Last fight for sure. We are now less than a minute remaining, and Orgless and Hungry have to spend 1 to get in.
And now, another nice Graviton Surge will separate some of the team. The Transcendence is forced out from Koss because of it. Self-destruct explodes overhead, merely looking like fireworks. Henningsen, he misses his Earth Shatter, but Progi only able to find Berglund. Can they find the Zarya player? Not enough. The armor pack well received from Orgless and Hungry, and all of a sudden our team in red looking to potentially find themselves his first map. Wayfast has to play huge with Progi. They're the last 2 frontliners left alive. They will find Berglund, so an opportunity. Can they keep him up though? Progi will find another one. Wayfast, can you stay alive? He needs to find the mega pack. It looks like he will just narrowly do it. So the numbers are still good for the defense, and with 18 seconds left, we are now very narrowly in that overtime situation where a draw could be likely.
Yeah, but that being said, it is now Orgless and Hungry coming back with a vengeance. They find 4 kills, and the respawns just aren't in time. They're going to eliminate Progi here. Chalky Milk goes down at the very last, and with the respawns ending, Wayfast, the only one left to contest, not for very long. Recall spent. And Orgless and Hungry will take their first map victory here. We are now 2-1 Out of My Game. That's not the look that you're looking for, but Orgless and Hungry, hey, that was clean from them in that last fight.
Yeah, again, nice. It was smooth. It was good. You like to see it. And, you know, again, as we try to reprise the narrative between these two teams, you look at Out of My Game sitting at 2-1. They had a +2 map differential before they came into this set, essentially to put themselves in the best spot possible, because the top 2 teams at the end of the round robin go on to Contenders, and there is no playoffs here, LaFon. So
absolutely,
you need to get that +4. Put yourself in the +6, 3-1 territory. Obviously not going to be the case here. That definitely hurts a little bit.
So now Out of My Game, not only do they have to take this last map, and they're going to have to pray very hard in the matchup that's happening at the end of today in SMC versus YAB. That match there, SMC is going to have to be the one that comes out on top there, because map differential being what it is, you need these teams to be punished. You absolutely do. Yeah. And so Out of My Game, this is the situation you hate to be in. You don't like the terms of you making Contenders to be taken out of your hands, and they kind of gifted it away on that last map.
I mean, we can't sell Orgless and Hungry short.
No, for sure, no,
they played a fantastic offense on Capture Point A both times they went through it, as well as obviously Leoded's coming in clutch with the May at a couple different ice walls. So, I mean, you talk about this team, yeah, they're 0-3. Their chances of getting in are essentially null when it comes to Contenders. But again, as a team that was mostly comprised of previously Open Division players, they're getting a lot of experience, obviously. And, you know, who knows? Maybe this team sticks together. They go through the next Open Division series, look that much stronger. They have another chance to actually make a crack of it. They definitely have gotten better from day one to where we are today.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those things that we, considering Orgless and Hungry's position, right? We've been downsliding them throughout the series, but the truth is these players are really good. They're not pushovers in any respect, and it just comes down to execution a lot of the time, right?
Yeah.
I think here we saw why Leodeds was so high, why we were so high on him, and that May play was fantastic. And honestly, one of the reasons why they won out that map. So.
Yeah, and Rialto's next. So you talk about the dimensions that this map has throughout the 3 unique stages of the escort, and we've seen Out of My Game before, and on this map they will set up defensively and they'll put themselves right in front of the spawn. of their opponents, and again, it can sometimes pay off when it comes to killing a lot of time. But if you do get wiped off the gut, you're put in a really awkward spot for the first stage, and you're kind of left reeling from it for the rest of the map.
This map here is so weird because of how much time can be eaten away by the defense, right? Like if you play aggressively, this map here can just it can chew you up and spit you out, and you can never even see third point, right? That's one of these things. This map. Think about how defensively favored it is, and how much it even got to be changed because of that. So Out of my game, they have their work cut out for them. Orgless and Hungry. Orgless and Hungry swipe sides. My bad. The other way. Orgless and Hungry have their work cut out for them here on the defense here as they set up a very flank side. They're going to play for this very early defense here. They're going to basically walk the spawn and crouch walk their way up.
Little conga line.
Yeah. Leodeds isn't there because D.Va can't crouch, and she actually makes noise when she walks past. So that's why you don't see her in with the team. Yeah.
In case you didn't know, now you know. And knowledge is power. And he will actually be there to scout out as well. I actually kind of like this a lot. You can see Out of my game is left like, okay, where are they? Where are they? There they are! And all of a sudden, Progi is like, okay, let's get back a little bit further. Let's get ourselves more eco-centric. Chalky Milk will be dancing around the high grounds looking for a way to poop some potential in the water. It was close for a second, but now it comes down to Orgless and Hungry. Can they push back this offense? You desperately need to, but oh goodness, Kagasi will be the first one to fall away, and you can already see Tang as well, and this is the last thing you want to see for Orgless and Hungry. We talk about the pros and cons of setting up defensively aggressive. Out of my game will be all the way up in that courtyard before the next defense can come through.
They bought a minute of time though, right? Basically for free. The only thing is going for a swim this time of the year, not the most recommended.
It's pleasant and illy here, though. I'll say that much.
Yeah, but I mean, you have a fight to win. Going for a swim when you have a fight to win, not a great choice. At least my opinion. I could be wrong.
And I don't have any first-hand experience. Yeah, I don't have any first-hand experience with that, LaFon. We'll have to figure that one out later. Progi will start to slap through. He already has taken down Henningsen, and he has an Earth Shatter as well. Does he even think that he will need it? The damage looks to be sufficient enough without the ultimate, so likely we'll just hold on to it. But it really, for me, comes down to Orgless and Hungry. Can you get wiped fast enough, and can you get back to maybe contest one more time? Respawn proximity not too far away, and you can see Progi understands that and wants to make sure nobody is going to touch this payload but his teammates in red.
Out of my game are likely going to be able to capture the first point out here with how aggressively Progi is posturing, as you mentioned. They're going to commit the rally here. They want to go in.
They want to go.
They do get it. They do get it.
Graviton Surge comes through, and actually Henningsen tries to put down an Earth Shatter, but it finds absolutely nothing. And oh goodness, the patience and the discipline from Out of my game right there. Yes, every day of the week, Wayfast just uses the Graviton Surge. It forces out a lot from Orgless and Hungry. Progi retains the Earth Shatter, and that's going to be a very nice tool as we get into the second stage.
Yeah, I guess if you're Orgless and Hungry, hey, they use Graviton Self-Destruct, but they've got 4 more to work with, and they're going to stop. Oh, Berglund. Oh. Okay, well, you staggered Divas before, you staggered Zens before, and now we see you to staggered Zarya. And he doesn't even build ult charge on that play, too. Oh, that's disastrous for him. Dies without it. Okay, unlucky. Go again. That's what Orgless and Hungry is saying. Take a breath, take a reset, and they're going to walk back in. Olu, he's looking around the corner, scouting out, trying to find out where they're going. High ground it is, tells his team, they rotate back, and this fight on cart is going to have to be Earth Shatter Central.
And there it goes, but it finds nothing. A really good trigger on the display for Henningsen to put a shield up, but he does fall immediately afterwards. The Transcendences has to be used for Orgless and Hungry. Chalky Milk also put down a sound barrier for Out of my game. Now the next elimination, they'll funnel through Progi. Oh my goodness, he's popping off this game, putting himself in such a good position every time that there's a fight, able to kind of bait and switch and then get right involved to spin a really good back and forth gameplay between Wayfast and Progi.
There's not much to say there other than the fact that Out of my game, though the Shatter was committed, he has it back again, by the way. Ruby used the Transcendence and they don't get value. Oh, Cass again! The right click from downtown!
And now it comes down to, again, you can see Orgless, they want to defend this. It's the very last second. The second stage has not been fully completed yet, but they're throwing literally everything at this. Henningsen drops away. Kagasi will also fall, so the only 2 players that retain their ultimates will be the first 2 eliminated in this fight. And Out of my game are absolutely smoking Orgless on Rialto.
Dude, Koss has been perfect with the Discord orbs. Like, you look at that kill feed there, assist after assist after assist, it's always in the target that dies, and that means the Discord application has been fantastic, and Out of my game, they follow up perfectly, and Orgless and Hungry, you said, they threw everything they wanted to hold. Leodeds will switch over to the Mei, but Out of my game, they didn't even have to use that much. That's the disastrous part here.
But again, Leodeds on the Mei. Wall, not quite fully effective as he wanted to do. Krogi finding Henningsen again. And Twirls, no shield to stop it. Thank you so much, Krogi, for letting me look good. That will be an easy double off the self-destruct that went up and came right back down in elevator fashion. And another team wipe coming out of my game.
Out of my game now. Okay, I said at the beginning this is defense favorite map, and you would not think it from watching this game so far, because Out of My Game has been running through the first 2 points. And Orgless and Hungry only have the Shadow to work with here. Ruby needs to build this Transcendence yesterday. And Out of My Game, try and pressure.
Henningsen was again almost taken down. His shield nearly completely done, and he goes around the corner, and Krogi says, all right, here's some free real estate to drop in Earth Shatter. Take a little bit of this, and that will be, again, Out of My Game running away with this point. Olo the only one to drop away, and this will be a lightning speed set from Out of My Game as they just want to say no more nonsense. Transcendence will be forced out for Ruby just to try to hold on to this defense for as long as possible. Can they find good target prioritization? Henningsen, will you get this Earth Shatter down this life? It's only been about 4 since you've been able to hit it. Will you be able to find an opportunity to find a successful one so far? Henningsen low again. Blizzard gets dropped, but Sound Barrier keeps Henningsen alive. Blizzard will squeeze out a couple. So with Krogi falling, all of a sudden things are looking possible. But the wall, oh, it almost blocked the Earth Shatter from his own teammate. But it looks like Orgless and Hungry, off of some clutch gameplay from the support line, will actually be able to hold on to this defense for now.
Ruby getting the passive alt generation 2 fights ago actually ended up saving them because he wasn't able to use it to save the team, so they had to respawn and take it back the old-fashioned way. Leodad's a hero with the Mei wall there in that last fight. Out of My Game, they do have that combo that we mentioned. They do have the Graviton Surge self-destruct coming online, but no support ultimates to Berglund, so Zarya's ultimate here can be good old-fashioned value.
They throw it up early, but Leodad's is able to counter with an Ice Ball, which will put a little bit of an obstacle in the way, but not enough of one, as you already see Henningsen and Ruby being taken off. A 6-on-4 following up. Graviton Surge has to be used in desperation. Berglund's damage, though, not enough to make much of an impact, although they do lose 2 supports. So, Out of My Game, they do need to make this one clean. Mei will stall for a while. Orgless and Hungry on the desperation swaps. Here comes the Wrecking Ball, already up to 30% just off of one of those slams. The Ice Wall there, and again, Ruby with the Transcendence. Will this delay enough time? Again, there's not a lot of support here for Out of My Game. The self-destruct comes through. Kagasi will at least be able to block at least some of that, but it's like Out of My Game might just be stalled away once again. These last seconds defenses have looked pretty solid for Orgless and Hungry.
That was a miscommunication on Out of My Game's side, because Koss dies with Trance, but the rest of his team committed ultimates. That's a strange look, and if you're the only thing I can explain is that he got stunned somehow at the very end and was accidentally unable to press it, because Out of My Game, man, that's a really, really awkward place to find yourself. They could have closed this map in 3 minutes ago and just haven't found that last moment. Leodad's has been an absolute hero on this Mei, just stalling things out for so long. A lot of value gained here from that one hero.
I'm going to tell you, man, Leodad's has been impressive on the Mei. That's about the biggest takeaway that I could say so far, at least when you talk about Orgless and Hungry. Blizzard down once again, right on top of the wall, but everyone backed away, and I don't know if anyone's going to get stunned, or pardon me, they're going to get crowd controlled from that. The Transcendence is forced out, though, at least from Koss. Numbers even, 5-on-5, a really ambitious Earth Shatter from Krogi that finds nothing, and now Wayfast will commit the Graviton Surge. They are in last fight territory, and the Sound Barrier just a little bit too late from Tang, and looks like the numbers will now very heavily favor that Out of My Game. No Mei here to distract. It comes down to Orgless and Hungry with no ultimates. Can they delay long enough defensively here? You can't really put together a picture where they will, unless there's some huge heroic plays from Berglund, but he's already melted. An adaptive shield will keep him alive, but for not long enough. Ruby, no Transcendence this time. It's not as of yet, not able to touch, and it will be Out of My Game finishing the map, but in slower speed than we initially thought it was going to go, LaFon.
You know what? If it comes back to the fact that this map is slow to finish, I am right again. And it's not because Out of My Game struggled to capture that 3rd point by wasting ultimates. No, it is me saying that the map is that way. Now, yes, that they do end with 9.6 seconds remaining, but man, Out of My Game's got to be frustrated.
3.5 minutes at least.
You got to be frustrated with that, because you know that you complete the map slower, not because, you know, Orgless and Hungry played spectacularly on that 3rd point, though there were heroics from everyone on the roster. It's because you don't do a good job of communicating and executing. And these are the kind of things that you got to fix, because you know you want to be that top 2 team. You can't be making small mistakes like these that teams are going to punish. Contenders is ruthless, and if you want to be in that scenario, you have to play to that caliber. And Out of My Game, now you have to put put a decent hold to keep yourself in this match.
Yeah, and you know, I love that you bring that up now as far as those slight miscommunications and how things could go awry so quickly, because obviously as the Overwatch League starts up again today, those are the clear differences that you see between these extremely veteran players in some instances, as of course we'll get our World Championships rematch, but you compare what we're going to see later today to what we're seeing now, and you know, I know a lot of people in the Overwatch community are not a huge fan of those GOAT-centric comps, but there are, you know, it's a safety net at some levels, you know, depending on where you are in your rank, but at the highest level, every little thing adds up, and it can be a very high execution threshold composition to pull off.
Yeah, and right now, Out of My Game is, oh god, look, they don't even get the full hold up, because look how low Tools gets. Ruby's at 25% ult charge already. That's insane. A brilliant right click there. Just, again, these divas, Tools is going to chase Ruby off the high ground, and he's going to get the kill, but you can't be making small mistakes like that and getting away with it. They are going to hold here, but Out of My Game, there has been moments where I've had a couple of questions for them, and it looks like they don't really have the answers.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing here too, you know, I have to just go back and kind of find some more silver linings. Orgless and Hungry, Ruby has been you know, no pun intended, a shining star here. You know, he's been a gem, quite literally, to this team, and you wonder what they may have been able to do if he was here earlier, because he has played very well. Now we will see a Sombra switch from Leo Dets, try to distract for as long as possible, and Henningsen also on the Wrecking Ball. This is essentially just straight penetration. You want to hold in our spawn, we'll go airborne, force you to play us where you can't go. And again, Ruby able to put out a brilliant biotic grenade, but Henningsen, he will survive for a small time, and all of a sudden, Orgless and Hungry, they are looking a little bit in shambles as they don't have that Wrecking Ball, but of course, as I say that, Tang will find the free resurrection, and once again, Orgless and Hungry looking pretty solid out the gate.
And that is we talk about how Out of My Game, now how we're going to react to this. They're going to switch costs off the Zen to the Moira, that air pressure, that healing that you can get, and of course, less susceptible to the Sombra. That is probably the most impactful reason why you would switch to Zen. Oh, what a so close.
Thank you, Gondola. You will pay extra for that ride in the Gondola, I will say that much, but Kagazi already with the barrage. Wants to make sure Twills is not in his way, and he's able to find a nice trigger, at least able to take down one. Berglund will clean up another, and now Bob on point will help even out the numbers a little bit more, and Bob will actually be focused by that of Out of My Game, because simply the resurrection is not in play, neither is the damage from Ashe, so Out of My Game will hold this one more time at least.
Good, yeah, that's gonna be a good read. Here's the thing: you use a sound barrier, and then you tell the Reinhardt to tank the damage from the Bob, and he's actually able to take away. No ult charges given or gained, so it doesn't really matter. You're able to take that much damage away. Good job there, recognizing that, and of course the Bob not valuable in that backline. But now the Sombra setting up for that EMP, and 5 people sitting in for sight lines.
Oh boy. Baby, it's huge! A 6-man EMP. Everyone gets taken down off that, but Out of My Game. What a good soft reset. They only lose Progi, and now all of a sudden the Coalescence comes in with the self-destruct, and it finds 2. Oh my goodness, OMG, you were able to sustain that so well. What a good play to make sure that they were able to negate all of the effect of what was a massive EMP. Orgless and Hungry not able to follow up because, again, not a lot of frontline pressure. OMG gets underneath the hotel, and they hold on for another great defense.
4 words: high, rally, pretty good.
Yeah.
They actually, they have the full rally applied by the time the EMP is used, and so they still have the sustain required. There's no cleave available, and that means that you buy time for the combo, and without a shield, that self-destruct, that bigger bang is so very valuable, and Out of My Game, that's how they hold it.
Orgless and Hungry now, no tools available. Need to find a way with just 45 seconds left to push through this first stage just to gain an extra life in Rialto here. Berglund will try to get right into the face of Progi. It pays off as they find the first elimination. Now looking for more. And they find it. There's no shields in the way, and all of a sudden Berglund near full charge. But again, Out of My Game, able to take down a D-Mech as well as one more in Kagazi. Henningsen also falls. How has this gone awry? Orgless, you had such a stark advantage. You have to push forward and try to deal with the Zarya at full charge, and Wavefast's damage is just too much, and all of a sudden Out of My Game, they look to potentially full hold this. Just 15 seconds left.
15 seconds, and the rally effect is going to be applied when you're walking back in, because it's 30 seconds, remember, for that rally to expire, and so 7 seconds, 6. Can anyone even touch? The countdown continues, 3 seconds. They do get the Wrecking Ball on in the last-ditch effort.
Okay, so a little bit of extra time here. Sound barrier for Out of My Game as well as Graviton Surge, which will put people just barely off the payload, but another touch comes through, and Twills, yeah, we'll take that one. Talk about nail in coffin. That's what that looks like in Overwatch terms. The overtime will fade away, and OMG will salvage this set. It'll still be a 3-1, so they'll only gain +2 in the map differential department. And again, why we're hitting on that point, there are no playoffs here.
No.
For this round robin style tournament for Overwatch Contenders Trials. The top 2 teams get in. So again, with Out of My Game is sitting at 2-1 and not the greatest map differential, only a +2 coming in. They desperately needed at least a 3-1. They would have liked to have the 4-0 just to keep themselves at least in contest for that top 2 spot.
And coming in, the next match is going to be very interesting too to keep a look at in terms of differential, because, you know, gaining only that +2 is disastrous. It's tough to expand. By the end of today, we could have some very, very interesting scorelines looking at what happens into the remainder of this EU Trials Season 1, because there is a lot at stake here. Top 2 teams, again, that's the only 2 that go through into Contenders proper, and there's a lot of teams vying for that top 2 spot. So, Out of My Game, they're going to be playing fanboys for a couple of teams here today.
Yeah.
And it's not just one. It's going to be a couple more, in fact, due to how Novus is actually going to be playing today again as well. So that match, you know, the one map that kind of struggles is the Assault map. We know how much Assault can be a problem for teams. It is possibly one of the most different ways of playing the game as any of the other. It really is hyper-focused Overwatch. You need to have the ultimate combos. You need to be on point, rather, with both figuratively and literally, in terms of ult economy, in terms of communication, in terms of execution. And unfortunately for Out of My Game, the one map where they slip up, it's the one map where that punches you the most. And so they will end this set 3-1. They are happy with the victory, though. It is now, of course, though, they're going to have to be playing eyes on other people.
And on the other side of the coin, Orgless and Hungry now drops to 0-4, essentially putting them completely out of contest for that top 2 spot. But again, this was a team that was comprised, as we mentioned previously before, of mostly Open Division players that were not on the top 2 teams from this previous Open Division season. So they will likely be going back through that Open Division circuit once more as it comes back up.